Welcome, you sick bastards, to the Hot Death Horror Podcast. This week, I am really fucking stoked to talk to this guy. Um, just coming out with his first feature film as well, The Who Incident. I am talking to Mr. Ron Chevarie. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Ron. I really, really appreciate it. Super nice of you. And let's just get right into it, really, and just start talking about, your film. What all went into it, what got you started in the filmmaking industry, how long have you been doing it? Just kind of tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on this. Really appreciate that and the support you give all the creatives, independents like us. Myself, I'm actually an animator. I've been in the animation industry for going on just over 30 years now. I went to Sheridan College. Shout out to Sheridan College in Oakville, Ontario, here in Canada. I live in Canada. And so I've worked on everything from commercials, you name the cereal commercial mascot. I've probably worked on one of the commercials, a bunch of features going all the way back to Space Jam and All Dogs Go to Heaven 2, Little Mermaid 2, things like that. One of some of my recent work I've worked on, I did a bit of work on the Chip and Dale movie. If anyone's ever seen that on the Disney Channel, that was out last year.
Hmm.
That was a lot of fun. And I also worked on one of my major last projects was The Boy and the Mole, the Fox and the Horse, which was a short that was done by None More Productions out of UK London, and that actually won the Academy Award for Best Short. So that's my first involvement on an Academy Award winning film. So that was a really nice feeling, and that was an amazing project. If nobody has had the chance to see that, I believe it's on Apple TV. It's so heartwarming and it's so different than the film that we just created, the Who incident. So keep that in perspective while I was working on this heartwarming film that would bring tears to my eyes when I looked at my pencil tests. That's powerful. I would flip over and put the other hat on and start working on the terror that is the Who incident. So balance is good.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's shit, man. I had no idea you'd been such a part of, so many things. I'm a father of little ones, so we've seen all those movies that you just mentioned. So that's really cool. My kids are probably gonna go ape shit when I tell them, hey, I just talked to the guy that he did some of the animation in that movie. So that's really cool, man. That's something I didn't know about you, and that's really awesome. Um,
Yeah, yeah, and that's just my background because animation basically is film making, it's storytelling, and what I decided to do was take it to the next level for myself for a change, not do an animated film, but do a live action film. And this all came about during COVID when, as you remember, it was dark and people were wondering how long it was going to take to get out of that. It was easy to go to dark places. Jan and I, my wife Jan and I, never had anybody around. We rent a property that's, I think above, it's just over 50 acres of sprawling farmland, forest, and localized area around the house we live in, which the foundation for it is a cabin that was built in 1812, thus Haunted Lodge
wow.
Productions, because there is some activity that goes on in there, and there is a foundation to that. It's not just a name we chose to use. But so during COVID, it's always been a dream of mine to try and make a movie, but it was always out of grasp. Technology was so expensive. Cameras back in the day, it was expensive to process film. It was hard to do that without a budget. These days, as you know, it's cheap enough for the average filmmaker and creative to have a device, whether it's your iPhone, which is amazing even these days, to smaller cameras, which are really reasonable on a budget. I approached Jan and said, hey, with all this time on her hand, how would you feel about making a movie with me? I put her on the spot because, Jan is not in the animation industry. Jan, that's something so far out of her spectrum. It came out of left field. And she supports me so much that she said, sure, what the hell? Initially, we planned on a low budget, maybe getting people in costumes, keeping it all practical so we could stay on a budget. But luckily, during COVID, I had these contracts coming through. We decided with talent and friends that we have, that I directly have, and I've grown to call them family through the animation industry. We brought on, what was it, one, two, three, four key players that accommodated digital VFX, CGI, and stop motion creature animation for our film.
Wow.
That initially, we, like Jan's talked about it lately, going, if you would have told me we were doing that initially, I would have said no. I just would have said no, right? Because that's a big financial commitment.
Yeah.
Uh, so much friends, family, and talents that have come into creating this film. It's our film. This is not a Ron Chevarie production. I may have written it and directed it, but this is our film, and everyone's gone above and beyond to the point where they're actually stretching their capabilities outside of their comfort zone to achieve some pretty crazy requests that I put in for them. And you know what? They've blown my socks away. We've got nightmare material, I believe, in some of the footage and some of the scenes that we have. And it's to the point where I'm just introducing in the last few years Jan to horror, and she doesn't like jump scares.
Mm.
That's the worst thing she hates. Bad jump scare. Throw a cat at the screen, whatever. It's a jump scare. She doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Uh, we don't necessarily have jump scares, but the stuff she's seen in our dailies, she tells me, okay, I have to stop watching because there's potentially nightmares that she's going to have just watching herself, knowing full well where everything came from.
Yeah.
It's that's the power of film.
It is. That's funny that you say that too, though, because I asked my wife the same question. Not during COVID. Obviously, COVID, it brought on a lot of changes for a lot of folks. And I did kind of start thinking about making a movie during COVID, but it wasn't until just last year I really got serious about it. And it was through speaking with some of the mutual friends that we have on some of the Facebook groups and everything that just it encouraged me to just say fuck it and do it. That
Yeah,
was actually verbatims a piece of advice I got from somebody was just say fuck it and do it. So I did it. Um,
just
Yep. And I asked my wife the same thing, and she didn't have the same response. She was like, "I'll support you. You do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to be in your movie," because she's the same. She's not into jump scares. She's not into horror at all. I mean, once in a while, I'll be watching something, and she'll walk in, and she might get kind of involved, but then something will startle her, and she's like, "Nope, I'm out." She doesn't do it. She's all Hallmark all day. She's not about the horror life. So I'm glad that you got your significant other to be in this thing with you. Sounds like you've got a great piece of land to do it. I mean, that's shit,
yeah,
50 acres and a cabin from the 1800s. Talk about falling in your lap.
I know.
That's amazing. I wish I could have had those resources. And just, I watched your trailer. Um, Nightmare fuel for sure. I mean, what you said, it is going to be nightmare inducing, I think. I can't quite tell what it's about yet, and obviously, we're not going to get into any spoilers, but what can you divulge about the film? What can people expect from this?
Right. Well, people can expect. I think there's no spoilers because it's within the trailer. People can expect ghostly visitation. We have Ghost Dad. Um, my character I play, my father comes back, and he also has a very dear, beloved object that I've got it right here. I sit beside it all the time.
Got the
This
trigger
is
object.
this is the trigger object. This is Owlie. This is Dad's beloved old toy that he had a thing for owls. Thus the Who incident. And Owlie becomes a trigger object in our film in the sense that he's a cue. He's a cue for things that are just about to happen. And I can say easily that I think the pace starts picking up within the first 6 minutes of our movie. Strange things start happening. So we're not slowly wrapping back the onion. We're peeling it fairly quickly with a lot of strange things going on. that all tie around Dad and Ghost Dad. And my character is in denial. Our characters, Jan and I, we play an element of who we really are in real life. That's peace, love, and hippie freaks. And, you know, peace and love is a big foundation of who we are. But we also love the weird and the strange. But our characters in this film are oblivious to it. Me, so much so that I ignore it to save the party. This movie's about us planning for a giant anniversary party and having friends and family come over. So I avoid all the signs that I should be paying attention to that something's coming. And as a result, we pay for it. And in a pretty creepy manner, that's going to go someplace that I don't think people are going to expect fully. The final money shot blows my mind away. And we'll just have to wait to see when the audience checks it out to see what they all think too.
The way you talk about your film, I can tell it, whether you made the thing for $5 or 5,000, I can tell it's going to be a high quality production,
Oh,
just based on your description. So I'm, yeah, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't envious, because that really, with your background and everything, I can tell everything that you've got put into this is. I think it's going to blow some minds. It really is.
cool. Well, I really hope so. And it's going to show more than the actual budget that we did pay for the VFX because yeah, I'm going to name drop some names here if you don't mind.
Sure.
This is our VFX crew. We've got Marco Santos on CGI and doing comping with the stop motion. And we've got a trifecta in a family of Dan Turner, Natalie Garceau Turner, and their son Bernie who so Bernie and Dan helped to cast the stop motion puppet because we did this the right way. Bernie actually designed the rubber latex that went over the armature. Dan Turner designed the armature. Natalie sculpted the original maquette from designs and model sheets that I provided to her. And then Natalie was the one who finished doing the stop motion actual animation with the creature. And let's see, Marco would do comping with that as well too to fit it into the shot. And Dan did some sort of 2D like digital VFX that we use as well too. So there's a lot of different things going on. It's like we've got elements that are familiar to different found footage films and horror tropes and genres, but we mash them in a way that I think is unique and it's 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 something that's so out there, but there are people that see strange things. There are a lot of reports, whether it's Bigfoot, chupacabra, you name it, waters, sea serpents are incredible things that people see all the time as well. Things flying around, weird orbs, ghosts, like more and more these days. I think people are more into the idea that maybe there is something going on that's not just excuses, swamp gas. You know,
Right.
it's interesting how society's kind of changed, and I think the advent of all these ghost hunting reality shows maybe help that
Hmm.
because it is pretty bombastic, and I kind of know for a fact that a lot of those shows aren't the real deal, and it is entertainment, and it's called reality TV for a reason, and it is an industry. I'd love to see one of those shows that are the real deal, that aren't dropping in sound effects
Yeah.
and jump scares where they actually weren't there, on a real level. So it's interesting with found footage. I love the different aspects of found footage. Your film that you've done, it's sort of screen life. You're using those elements of using social media and that to tell the story, which is so cool. I love that you can tell a story that way. Ours, we chose to do POV,
Hmm.
and primarily where the master camera is a 4K camera. These are gifts. It's no, I think that's no spoiler either in the trailer. These are gifts that I buy for Jan and I to capture the memories.
Hmm.
And her camera is a pair of video glasses. So we've experimented with two point of views, which in a POV, unless you've got a movie about a crew, it's hard to get that dual point of view. and it's usually one pointed and one sided where you don't get to see the cameraman. So this gave us an opportunity to have a bit more of a natural flow in scene cutting
Yeah,
during certain scenes.
yeah. No, that's cool. POV. That's probably. I mean, if I had to pick a favorite subgenre of the subgenre of found footage, it would probably be POV, which, again, like you said, it's kind of weird. I took mine in the direction of more screen life than
Yeah,
POV, but that's just where it led me. I think originally I was going for a POV aspect, but it just kind of went towards a screen life, and I'm like, well, let's go with it. But POV is there's so much good POV found footage out there, and it's to me, I think it's the most fun. It really is. It's the most fun to watch. I think it's probably the most fun to film. My next one, that's what I'm going for, is total POV.
yeah.
So I'm glad you took that approach. And the glasses, that's really they're really video glasses you used.
Those are really video glasses. The pair of, I believe they're Orca glasses, video glasses. They're 4K as well. And so we've got the quality for those weren't as good as the camera, but they're close enough to match
Sure,
and get POV. Now, if you watch a movie like Jerusalem, I love Jerusalem, if you're
great
aware of that.
movie.
And that was supposedly filmed with glasses as well too. But I do believe they used a camera in place of the glasses to give the impression that they were glasses.
Right.
So
I
we don't have any high gimmickry that way. We just literally use the POV that was captured by Jan wearing them.
Wow. And again, something else original about your film. I don't know too many other films that have used glasses. Like you said, Jerusalem, perfect example, because you're right. The whole movie was supposed to be filmed through the college girl over in that part of the world wearing the glasses. And I
That's
think you're right. I think they used a camera and just, called it glasses. That's why I asked that question. Are they really
yeah,
glasses? So, you heard it here first, folks. Ron Chevarie is using actual glasses. So
yeah.
originality at its finest, man. Like, yeah, I'm so excited to see this thing. I really am. Um, any kind of hint at a release date or anything?
Well, we're going to go into discussions for distribution with a few places soon, and we're hoping with the timing that we can get it out around October, November at the latest. So it's coming soon. It's coming soon.
Ooh. Oh, that's great. That man, Halloween time, like what what a perfect time of year to release something like that.
You'd think we'd almost planned it that way.
Yeah, right? You think you almost planned it that way. Um, well, let's throw some shameless plugs out here, Ron. Where can folks find you? Social media?
Oh yeah. Well, our primary one on YouTube, our channel is Haunted Lodge Productions, and you can see a lot of BTS that we shot, some featurettes leading up to the film, and that's where our trailer is, and anything else we'll be sharing there. So like, support, subscribe if you can there. We're also on Facebook. The Who Incident is on Facebook, and so is Haunted Lodge Productions, and we're on TikTok and Instagram as well. So check us out if you can, and we're always going to be trying to share a little bit more content as it gets closer. And we do plan on releasing physical DVDs at some point as well. We had a crowdfunding campaign through Indiegogo, so there are supporters that are going to get their DVDs soon. Sorry, everybody, we are a little bit late, but everything is coming. Like,
Yeah.
please know that you're going to get your DVDs, and we can't wait for you to check it out, because that's another beautiful thing, the support that we got on Indiegogo. We can't thank everybody enough for all the support. We even had somebody buy one of the stop motion creatures that was film used. So somebody's going to own
Wow.
that in their collection.
Wow.
And that's pretty special. I
Yeah.
want one.
Yeah, right. You made the film and you want one.
Yeah. So we
Oh,
had such brilliant support that way. Also, just to name drop some names, we do have Jan, my wife, co-stars with me. She is also executive producer alongside with me. We have two producers in Mickey Sin, who's brilliant, does great social media work for us as well, and our dear friend Ashleen Robinson, who's been a sister to us for many years. And she's beyond just producing. She actually has pipes. She's a leader of she's got a band in Toronto called The Devil's Drink, and it's Celtic, amazing belting Celtic music. It's a three-piece band, and she's got such a voice that some of the shrieks you hear in the trailer, that's her voice. In
Oh
fact,
wow.
we had occasions where she was running behind me as I filmed blindly with night vision, shrieking. So we're lucky we didn't get hurt.
Wow.
So
That's
much
amazing.
talent coming from strange places in this film that if you didn't know this, it's quite amazing. Yeah.
That's one thing that I might have to pick your brain on because I want to do crowdfunding for my next one.
Okay.
Not a lot of people know who I am yet, so I don't anticipate a huge, turnout of folks just willing to throw money. So I think I'm gonna set the goal pretty low because I made this film for basically nothing. I bought a cheap little tripod thing so I could stand my phone up over here. I bought some stuff. I make my own fake blood out of syrup and food coloring.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. That's
Yeah,
old school. Yeah.
yeah. So I made my film for next to nothing. I'd like to put a little bit more into the next one, but
We'll definitely bend your ear, and we'll get on a Zoom meeting privately with Jan, and she was the one that was orchestrating all that through Indiegogo,
mhm,
and we can definitely help you out in the sense that there's a certain order to things that you should do,
yeah,
because once you start putting things out as perks, they get locked. So
yeah. Okay.
we'll definitely help you out with that for sure if you're interested. With Indiegogo, we know how to run that one.
Sure, yeah, no, that'd be great. I would appreciate that for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, yeah, man, we'll wrap this thing up here real quick then, because I got to get going to a thing here with my kid. He's got a fundraiser we got to get to so he can go to camp for a church. So,
Right on.
yeah. But Ron, I thank you so much for taking the time. I know this was kind of a last minute deal, but I really really appreciate it.
Hey,
Um,
likewise, man. I do. It's great, and let's keep cross supporting each other. And when you get that link out there, I'll be sharing that and getting my friends to check it out and support you as well too. So let's keep doing that.
yeah,
Brilliant.
absolutely, man, absolutely. So yeah, thanks again, and like you said, all your social medias, folks can get a hold of you there. Haunted
Yeah,
Lodge Productions. Like and subscribe to the page. We got some scary shit coming out from this guy, and I can't wait to see it. So thanks again, Ron.
hey, thank you so much, Justin. Have a great weekend, man.
All right, you too, buddy.
Peace and love. See ya.
Bye bye.